Hello. Hello and welcome. Happy Friday. Does it feel like Friday? For me, it doesn't feel like Friday because my last day at work was Tuesday. So Wednesday felt like Friday to me. I'm having an extra long weekend. Got some people in chat. It's great. Random Taco 123. First time watching. Awesome. Welcome. Cybersec Meg. We have Cybersec Meg in the stream, guys. If you don't know about Cybersec Meg, she is an awesome YouTuber. Unfortunately, she is blue team, but we're not going to hold that against her, okay? But she has some great cybersecurity content. You should definitely go check out her channel. What else we got? Ragnarok 08 again, brilliant. Ragnarok, since you've been in this stream like so many days this week, I gave you VIP, just as a thank you. Only just learning really how to use Twitch, so that was something I could do. So I figured I've seen you in the stream several times this week. There we go. Look, it shows up a little diamond next to your name. That's good. Who else we got? Justin D _0. Hello. VLDG17. Hello. Matchstick Boy. Napster 12. Oh, sorry. And Thornhill. And Swan FGC just joined as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you everyone for following, by the way. So, Cybersec Meg followed 13 minutes ago. Ape Sapien 1, great username. I love those movies. And EDS3C. Thank you all for the follow. So, earlier, actually last week, I set myself a goal to stream every day this week. Every work day, anyway. And we met the goal, guys. So this is stream number 5. This is the stream that should technically get me affiliate status on Twitch. You have to do, I think, seven streams in a 30-day period, and meet other sorts of averages like 8 hours total. So this is exciting. I think, let me go back. What was the first stream we did? The first stream we did was Portswigger Web Academy on Monday. That's right. What did we do? We did oh yeah, we did OAuth. My I was like viewer's choice, and you guys were like, yeah, OAuth. And I was like, oh great. But we persevered, and we did like I think 4 of them, which is kind of fun. And then on Tuesday we did Joe Helly's, also known as the Mayor. We did his TryHackMe box called Relevant, which was fun. Wednesday we live coded a burp extension. That was a blast. And then yesterday we went back to Portswigger Web Academy. We spent a long time, I think 2 hours, going over HTTP request smuggling, which is insane. That was a lot of fun, though. I hope everyone learnt a lot. Today we're going to do some TryHackMe boxes. These were suggested on Twitter. Who just followed? That is a long username. Kitsune Snow Darknet YouTube has followed. I hope I pronounced that right. So, I think these two, I had a look. So some of the ones obviously that people suggested like ranked as like difficult, and I think for difficult stuff, ideally I probably want to prep it a little more ahead of time. But also my stream seems to be mostly filled with like guys looking at like the beginner stuff of web application hacking. So I didn't really want to throw people in the deep end. We did also some really hard stuff yesterday with the request smuggling, because that takes a while to wrap your head around. So these two, zthweb2, I've done zth, the first one, and that was a lot of fun. So I figured I'll do this one. We'll see. We'll have a go. And also, HackerNote was suggested by a couple of people. I unfortunately have already done HackerNote. As you can see, I've completed it all. But I figure, we'll try it and go through it, and I'll try my best to hide the answers before we get them, or if we accidentally reveal the answers, we'll still show how we're getting those. But let's start off with zthweb2. I'm not entirely sure why it's called zth, because it's created by Paradox. Yeah, I don't actually ask him what that stands for. So yeah, interesting. But we have an IP address. I've already booted up the machine. So let's read the intro. The purpose of this room is to show the more subtle vulnerabilities. These vulns won't get you RCE, remote command execution, or LFI, local file inclusion, but they will allow you to access sensitive information that a client would want to keep protected. The topics that will be covered in this room are IDOR, which, if you don't know what that means, it stands for Insecure Direct Object Reference. If you're a member of the InfoSec Prep Discord server, which if you're not, you should be, then you might be familiar with a guy called Joe, who once misspoke this as indirect direct object reference, which of course makes absolutely no sense, and we mock him for it every now and then. It is a kind of a funny verbal typo, I guess. Forced browsing, which I guess less easy to explain. Effectively, it's kind of an authorization bypass. There's forced browsing. Effectively means you're browsing to a resource which you can't get to by the normal navigation menus, but also it should be protected. You shouldn't be able to just browse to it directly anyway. And finally, API-based authentication bypass, which I understand what authentication bypass is, and we'll understand what API is. I guess we'll see exactly what they mean by that, because I haven't done this room at all. So we're going in blind here. You can do this room with minimal experience, so that's good. There will be some pen testing terms that if you don't know, you should research. Okay, we read the above. That's complete. So let's do the intro to IDOR, or Insecure Direct Object Reference. See, I know what I'm talking about. It's the act of exploiting a misconfiguration in the way user input is handled to access resources you wouldn't ordinarily be able to access. For example, let's say we're logging into our bank account. Who just followed? Pyrus Gaming and GXNGNIR. Gnexonir, I'm guessing. For example, let's say if we're logging into a bank account, and after correctly authenticating ourselves, we get taken to a URL like this. So example.com/bank !account _number equals 1234. On that page, we can see all of our important bank details, and a user would do whatever they needed to do to move along their way, thinking nothing is wrong. There is, however, a potentially huge problem here. And you can probably spot it, right? This account number here is just in the URL. And it's showing the account number associated with this number. All right. So if the application isn't coded securely, you can just change this number and access someone else's account. And this is what Insecure Direct Object Reference is. Let's break this down, right? And show why this is why this means this. So this is a reference. This 1234 is a reference to an object. All right. The object in this case is effectively a database entry that's associated with the account number. All right. It's a direct object reference because we can see it directly in the URL, right? We can just change this and it changes the account number. And the way it's insecure is presumably if you would just increment this by 1 or decrement it by 1, you would still get the account for that number, right? Even if you don't own it. So that's effectively what that means. This, it's a kind of complicated acronym, but all these words do mean things, and that's why it is. That's why it's like that. So let's say we've read that. Superhero 1 is in the stream. Hello. How are you today? Did your TryHackMe box get released yet? Okay, we start with an example page. I'm guessing there should be a URL. Or is this not the challenge? Alright. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so this is just the exploitation. So we start with an example page. If you authenticate with the right user, you get access to that user's note. If you get the wrong password, you get an incorrect password message. Okay, so basically if you log in, you get this note.php with a parameter note equals 1, which says I am Newt. So obviously this number 1 here refers to a note in the database. So that's the object. The object is a note. The reference is the number 1. It's clearly direct. And so if it's insecure, you can just change this and access other people's notes. So it looks like exactly that's what's happening. They've changed it to 2, and they've accessed the password to this server is test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. All right. There is no way to automatically exploit this. As a pen tester, you need to examine the site and find misconfigurations. This is true. This is a big reason why manual pen testing is still a thing. Pretty much all authorization vulnerabilities, and this is a type of authorization vulnerability, are why manual pen testers still have jobs. Because code review can catch this sort of thing. It's just difficult. And automated scanners, even automated static analysis scanners, incredibly bad when you have like role-based authentication, trying to figure out there's just some kind of human element. A computer will look at these 2 pages and think, oh, okay, well, yeah, if you change the number, that's fine. You're clearly supposed to. But it takes kind of a human mind behind the screen to go, well, actually, this note should belong to this user, and this one should belong to another user. And the fact that one user can access it, or one user can access both, is bad. So that's why, effectively, it's so hard to automatically exploit stuff like this. Because scanners do not have the brains to recognize the difference between different roles. So we've completed that. Let's do the challenge. Okay, port 80. So let's go up here. I'm not using burp for this. If we need to bring out burp, we will. Have I connected? I haven't connected. It would probably help if I connected to the VPN. Oh. Okay. All right. Zooming in. I'm learning. All right, Newt and test 1 2 3 4. All right. So I'm guessing this is exactly the same thing, right? So 2, no, okay. Try and exploit idle to get the flag. Okay, so it's. Oh, there we go. So that's a big thing. Obviously, in this example, they increased the number from 1 to 2, and all I did was I decreased it from 1 to 0. I wonder if there's anything else. It's probably nothing, but in my experience, always better to decrease rather than increase. The reasoning for that being, if you're generally speaking, if you're given an account by the customer. It'll be a new account created precisely for the pen test. So all of your IDs of anything you create in the application are going to be pretty much guaranteed to be the highest ones. So if you had an ID like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Say you created a note in this application, you were given this ID, and especially if this was an app in staging, so a non-production app that's not being used by anyone. If you were just to test like incrementing this to 7 to 8 to 9, going up and up and up, and you don't get anything, that's probably because your note was the last one. Whereas if you start by counting down, effectively, you're almost guaranteed to hit valid note IDs. So that's why I generally start off with the one that I've been given and then just go down. Obviously, go both directions as well. So we found the flag, though. That was easy. So let's paste that in this challenge. That's the correct answer. Good. Force browsing is the art of using logic to find resources on the website that you would not normally be able to access. For example, let's say we have a note-taking site that's structured like this. So basically, every user has their own directory. It stands to reason if we did user2/note, we may be able to access user2's note. Taking this a step further, if we ran wfiles on that URL, we could enumerate users we don't know about as well as get their notes. So I guess I take exception to this use of forced browsing. To me, this is still idle. Forced browsing, I would say, is more application functionality rather than accessing specific resources. And to explain that a little, even if this is like, say this is all file system stuff, so that is actually a directory on the file system called user1, that user1 is still technically a reference, right? It's still a reference to an object in a very loose definition of the term. It's still a reference to that, and it's still direct because we're typing it in the URL. At some point, this URL is being passed by the web server. That username is being extracted. It's being matched to a directory on the file system, and yeah. So this to me is still idle, but we'll call it forced browsing for the purposes of this. But yeah, they are true here. We can enumerate users we don't know about. We can get their notes. So if we complete that section, go down to manual exploitation. I'm guessing this is... I wonder if I should just go to the challenge. Nah, screw it. We'll read through. Okay, so the same thing. It's a note-taking application. And in this case, our username is clearly part of the file system. So if we find other usernames, we may be able to read other users' notes. So obviously the admin user is a common one, right? So you can do that. Sure. Let's see what automatic exploitation says. Okay, so they're just using wfuzz. So wfuzz, if you don't know, is a really powerful fuzzer. And in this case, because we want to search for usernames, we want to put a fuzz location in this part of the URL, and then find. So that's basically what they're doing here. If you look at this command, wfuzz, they've basically put a file called big.txt. I'm not sure why they've used that. That's not a username file, but okay. And then the fuzz location there in the URL. So what flag hides characters? This is wfuzz, right? Okay. All right, so we need to figure out the parameters wfuzz uses. I don't know if I have wfuzz installed. Looks like I do. Oops. So let's. Why is it erroring? Oh, okay. All right. So what was the question? What flag hides characters? So with wfuzz, you can hide specific outputs. So it looks like HC hides code, HL hides lines, HW hides words, and because chars starts with a C but code already did, use HH. So it would be --HH. What flags show specific word amounts instead of hiding them? Okay, so if you show responses with specific words, that's SW, I believe. So let's try that. Correct. Perfect. Okay. Use what you've learned to find a flag on port 81. All right. I'm guessing is the username right? Newton test 1234 again. Okay, perfect. I guess we should figure out, does this work when you're unauthenticated? So let's open a private window, so that will basically clear the cookies. It does, perfect. So we don't have to mess around with cookies or anything with wfuzz. All right, let's see how they did it. wfuzz-c-z, and then we do the file. And is it okay? So I'm going to open a new tab. I think I have sec lists, maybe, or maybe I don't. Okay. I thought I installed. I didn't install sec lists. Let's quickly download that. That shouldn't take too long. Sec lists is this. Basically a massive collection of fuzzing word lists, effectively. So they'll have for instance, like usernames. Here's all the username word lists. There's a ton of them. So we'll use one of these because I don't know why they used the big.txt. Big.txt is directory lists. So I'm not sure why they chose that when we're looking for a username. So let's do that. May have just been easy just to copy the top username shortlist. Why don't we just try this? Alright, so I'm just going to create users.txt and paste that. And then wfuzz-c-z file, and then users.txt. Okay. And then all it needs is the URL, which we know is this. And then with wfuzz, where you want to replace... So what wfuzz is going to do, it's going to loop over this users.txt file. And it's going to extract each line. And wherever it sees the word fuzz in all caps in the URL, it's going to use that. So hopefully this should work. All right. So they were all 404s. Okay, so it's none of those. So I'm guessing the username list was not good enough. I wonder if this is a... I mean, that's 800, so potentially... Let's copy this entire list. And we'll just clear this out. Oops. Okay. So we can hide responses that are 404s because these are clearly pages that don't exist. And so the way we do that, you can hide the code 404 --HC. So what we'll do is we'll do --HC 404. And then it should only show requests that respond with something other than a 404. There we go. Oh, no, hang on. I know what that's going to be. This is going to be the hash mark, so that's not actually correct. I wonder why it does that, though. That is interesting. Yeah, okay. So it's just a weird thing. I wonder if they give you a username. Maybe we should just go on with big. I imagine we should go with big, even though it's a directory brute forcing tool. All right, we'll go with big. I believe seclists is in /user/share seclists. Yeah. Okay. So then we need discovery, web content, and then big.txt. Okay. So that's the same file. Let's do it the way they want. So we'll just change this. How many threads? Is there a way to set the number of threads? 10 by default. Okay, we'll up it to 20. -T20. All right, so this is going to run through. It's going extremely slow though. Well, hopefully we find something soon. I did use port 81 in my code, right? Yeah, okay, we're good. All right. Does anyone not understand what we're doing? Anyone show up a bit late? Superheroes, Superhero 1's box was rooted in 119 minutes. Nice. That's epic, dude. Oh, come on. I'm trying to see what. Okay, we're at 4,000. All right, so it's not going that slowly. Yeah, I think we're doing the right thing. I'm just confused why they used big.txt. Obviously, wfuzz is the free tool. You can use FFUF. Fuzz faster, you fool. There we go. Tetris Ben basically predicted what I was going to say. Do you use wfuzz normally? No. For fuzzing, I use Intruder in Burp. But obviously, Burp Pro's Intruder, which does not have a limit. The community edition of Burp, Intruder has, I think it's single-threaded. I think it slows down requests as well. But it just has way more functionality. Very easy to configure. I guess I can show it in burp while we're waiting. Obviously this is the free version of burp. Ah, there we go. Password? Really? That might not be valid. let's try it though. Oh, okay. There we go. We got the flag. That's a bizarre flag. Sorry, a bizarre username. The username was password, guys. All right. Did Burp Suite open or did it just crash? Let me. Let's try again. Yeah, I feel like it's not working. All right, I'll tell you what. Whoosh. Now we're in Burp Suite Pro. Haha. All right, so I can't actually, because this is on my main OS. I can't access the site. But let's just pretend. Let's go to example.com. Okay. Oh. Did it not grab it? Come on. Chrome, Canary. I think I need to force reload it. There we go. Alright, so intruder. Let's say, so we have the same thing, right? We had newt slash, and it was, oh, there we go, it's opening anyway. Newt slash note.txt. Alright. So, and what we needed to fuzz was this newt sort of file path here. So what you do in burp is you'll just double click or at least select everything you want to have as a fuzz parameter. You go over here and you click add. It automatically surrounds it with these weird characters that I have no idea what they're actually called. The nice thing about intruder is you can literally fuzz multiple things. So you could fuzz that if you wanted. You know, you could fuzz random stuff. But we only want to fuzz one thing. It has multiple attack types. I won't go into detail what all these mean, but for one thing, if you're only fuzzing one thing or one thing at a time, you only need sniper. Then you go to payloads. We want a simple list. That's basically what we're using. So you can either paste it or you can load. So in this case, if we go back to this list here, I can just copy, paste, loads 827 different things. And then we don't need to do any payload processing, but effectively if you wanted to encode any of these before you sent them or do something weird to them, you can do it here. Options, so obviously request then, so you can set the number of threads to something ridiculous. There we go, let's set it to 50. And then here's the power of intruder is you can set basically matching, so you can flag results that contain certain things. You can extract things, and then once you've launched this attack, we won't launch it because it's against example.com. Once you've launched the attack, you'll have a new window which shows you all the different requests, and you can filter by different things. So really, really cool, really powerful. The real power comes from the ability to just tag multiple things, the different attack types, which are all awesome, and obviously the payloads. We just use a simple list, which you'll use like 90% of the time, but there's tons of stuff here. So that's why Burp Pro is so awesome. Intrude is possibly the greatest feature. All right, so we did this one. API bypassing. This is a bit of a unique one as it can basically be anything. APIs are by definition incredibly versatile. And finding out how to exploit them will require a lot of research and effort by the hacker. The following situation is only one possible scenario out of a near infinite number. Interesting. Exploitation. We start with the basic login again. Logging in gives us an admin panel. You can run system commands here, so let's try running ID. It seems we can run commands, but let's think for a second. We didn't really need to log in at all. If we found the API page through directory searching and a command parameter through fuzz, we would never have needed to use the login panel. I guess. Only if it's set up that way. The way it's worded here, it sounds like he's saying, oh, this is like how it works generally. But no. If you don't protect your API.php page, then sure. But don't go around thinking that you can just do this for anything you find when you log in. If you find an API.php file, it's important to check it out on its own. Yeah. One of the tests that I do on every single web app engagement is we'll enumerate the site as a logged in user, and then we'll rerun all the requests with no authentication. So we'll strip all the cookies, we'll strip any authentication headers, and we'll effectively try and browse the site unauthenticated. You would be surprised how many times you can access stuff as an unauthenticated user, though. No way to automatically exploit this. Again, right, because if you get, I mean, there is a way, right? If you have a certain type of scanner that you can tell it to log in, there could potentially be a way it would know to run the requests unauthenticated, and if it gets the same response, then to report it. But I get the gist is correct here. It's hard to automatically exploit it. All right, port 82. You don't know any user. Try and read the flag. Okay. So I guess we'll try API.php. Did that give us a 404 or not? Reload. Okay, so, and I guess we'll check if any, if API 2 doesn't exist. All right, so API does exist. I mean, I'm kind of guessing it's just the ID parameter, right? Or the command parameter. ID. It isn't. Interesting. Okay. So I guess we want to try and hunt for different parameters. This is kind of annoying because we could do this really easily in burp. So I may switch VPNs. Yeah, I'm gonna switch. Yeah, it's Burp's open in Kali, but I want to use Burp Suite Pro because it's just more powerful. Okay, so we've got API.php. I'm going to shove it in param miner. I'm going to guess get parameters. We're going to increase that to 60. Actually, increase it to 20. Everything is fine. So param miner. I'm not sure if param miner is a pro extension. Let's see. No, it's not. All right. Param miner is this epic tool written by none other than James Kettle. And as you can see what it's doing, it's just appending a massive list of parameters. And effectively looking at the response and seeing if there's anything different. And if we go back to the target, oh, actually, yeah, I need to do that. What will happen is if it finds any parameters, it's going to flag it here. Have I tried burp customizer yet? I have not. No. I kind of like the black theme. It's nice. All right, what's happening? Is it still running or is it finished? I think it finished. Yeah, it completes the attack. Interesting. I guess we could try and just hunt for actual. Maybe API.php wasn't the right one. So discover content is another brute forcing tool. Files and directories, sure. I just want to look for PHP though. Discovery threads 20. Screw it. And go. Yes. All right. So basically, this is Burp's version of a directory enumeration tool. So all I did was I gave it the URL I wanted to start at. I told it we're interested in files and directories. It's got a built-in bunch of lists, and it's going to test PHP extensions. It found the API.php, which is what we wanted. Apparently admin.php. Oh, maybe it was. Because the instructions said admin.php is not valid. But because it just redirects, I guess. Yeah, it redirects to the command, to the IP. Okay. I guess we could try. Try various different things. This is interesting. Did it find anything else? Remember what I'm asking for. Remember what tools you can use. I mean, okay, I guess maybe we're thinking about it wrong. Maybe we're thinking about forced browsing it. Like maybe admin/note.txt again. I may have accidentally crashed it. I think I crashed it with my excessive fuzzing. Yeah, alright. I guess we'll terminate it and reboot. Yeah, we'll kill that. I wonder if we're supposed to do maybe the forced browsing trick first. I mean, one thing we could try is just try and browse to flag.txt. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure they want. We got some more follows. We got a few more follows actually. Watchdog Mental, thank you. Packet Fantastic. Oh, sorry, Packet Fanatic. Thank you. That is a good username. I like that one. MelG1, Masters, by the way. OMG Buster. Pagum. Chisk Forkos. And RZ44. Provoros. I think that was everyone. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, we have an IP address. Perfect. So let's visit it on port 82. I'm just gonna try. Oh, what? No, it's the same. Yeah. Okay. I'm guessing that's just. Interesting. All right. What was that username we were using throughout? Newt. Ah. That's kind of interesting. That's a different. All right, let's try. Let's send this to Intruder, and we'll grab this, and we'll load. We'll load big again. So we'll get to see this in action. Let's do 10 threads. Start. All right. So you see immediately it's going. We can hide 404s. So hopefully we can see a little status down here. I'm hoping it's going to find a note that maybe has some info in it. I'm guessing. Because otherwise, I'm not entirely sure how they want us to do this. Logging in gives us an admin panel. Yeah. I mean, so we have access to the API.php, but when we give it a command, it just doesn't return anything. Any ideas in chat? We tried finding other pages. There weren't any. There was admin.php. I said I was going to try flag.txt. Oh, for frick's sake. Yeah, there we go. Didn't I say it would be that? I did. I tried to be too clever. All right, but we can stop this attack. That kind of annoys me because that's not bypassing an API. Okay, we did it. We completed the room. Overall, it's an alright room. I think this section, the idle section, was great. I don't really understand why this section was called API bypassing. If anything, this was another example of false browsing. It wasn't an API bypass. But it's good. It taught some good stuff, and it confused me for a few minutes, so fun times. All right, terminate that machine. That is done. Let's try HackerNote. I'm going to switch back to Kali for this one. Right. Deploy. You see, unfortunately, I already have the answers, so... But I'm going to slowly scroll down. You're presented with a machine. Your first step should be recon. Scan the machine with Nmap. Work out what's running. What ports are open in numerical order. Okay. So we'll wait 1 minute for that to start up. Yeah, we could have fuzzed the command parameter as well. That would have been a potential thing. That would have been next step, really. Did I stop intruder? I did. All right. So how we could have done that was send this to intruder. It's the great thing about intruder is if you send a request to intruder, it's going to it's basically an auto select the stuff it thinks you want to fuzz. So in that case, it's URL parameters. It'll be if there's any body parameters, it'll do those as well, and also cookie values. It'll flag all those. So in that way, payloads with Burp Pro you can add from a list. So what you probably want to do. Actually, there's not really a good list, is there? Fuzzing full is pretty decent. So it will cover everything here. So you'll see the SQL injection, cross-site scripting, HTML injection, file inclusion, like directory traversal here, and then here's some command injection, right? So this is all command injection. So that would have been interesting to fuzz. The other way is an extension. I mean, you can use the scanner. The scanner by default, if I go to configuration library and check audit coverage, thorough, if we go down to issues reported, command, yeah, OS command injection, right? So that runs a bunch of checks as well. But there is also command injection attacker, an extension which adds a bunch more command injection stuff. Let's load it and see what happens actually, because I think, yeah, shelling. Here we go. This plugs into the scanner, and you can see it has a load of examples, but you can save the payloads into files. So I guess. Let me actually open Notepad. That was from last night. Let's just save the clipboard. Paste. Right. This is just the default So with nothing, with no configuration, that's just the list. There's 378 different payloads, and you can set up. You can set up a ton of stuff, right? I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, let's go back to. Here we go. We got the IP address. Nmap. Work out what's running. Okay, let's do this. Let's clear this out. Let's do sudo nmap. We're gonna turn off ping. We're gonna make it verbose. We're gonna turn on version reporting as well. Let's see. All right, we found 3 ports so far. This is just scanning the top 1,000. So it should be 2280 and 8080, I believe, in order. Which, yes, look at that, we got it right. Okay, what programming language is the back end written in? All right, Golang. Right, so it's written in Go. Yep, Go. Nice. Okay, investigate. Not looking. Okay, right. Now you know what's running, you need to investigate. With web apps, normal process is to click around, create an account, use the web app as the user would. So there's 2 web apps. There's one at 80, and there's one at 8080. Although they look like the same web app, so... who knows? Alright. Let's just explore the one on port 80 first. View the page source. Is there anything interesting here? We could look at the main.js files, see if there's anything in there. There is an API/user/whoami, which is interesting. I wonder if we can visit that. We cannot. I think that's the only thing. So it says to try and create an account. So let's create an account. Go to login. No account, make one here. Tiberius, password is password. And the password hint is just password. Create user. Successfully created your account. Alright, was that what we needed to do? Create your own user account. Perfect. Log into your account. Okay, let's do that. Tiberius, password. Could I control? Yep, I'm sorry. I was getting so good at that. I forget that my screen is a lot bigger. Okay. All right. So, okay. Do you have Ewok? I'm taking the Wapiti X. I call it Wapiti X. I'm not sure. Wapt X. I like saying Wapiti. It sounds fun, right? So yeah, I'm taking that this year. I think I already got the course. I bought the course last year, and then I just sort of sat on it. But I bought it when they had that massive deal going on, so it was nice. Log into your account. We did that. Try and log into an invalid user account. Okay. Whoops. Let's log out. Log in again. Okay, let's try and log into invalid. Invalid username or password. Okay. Try and log into your account with an incorrect password. Why do I keep clicking there? Alright. Tiberius with an invalid password of just invalid, I guess. Ah. That's interesting. That was different. See, it says logging you in. Whereas if we used invalid... Oh no, it still does, it's just quicker. Alright, so it does the same thing, right, each time, but when there's a valid username, it looks like there's a delay. That's actually pretty common. Notice the timing difference. We did. This allows user enumeration. It does. All right. I'm going to click that and scroll up quickly. All right. I'm trying not to look at the answers before we do this, because I don't remember when I did this. I think it was several months ago. Use the timing attack. Now we know there's a timing attack, we can write a Python script to exploit it. Ooh. First step is working out how login requests work. You can use Burp Suite for this, but I prefer to use Firefox DevTools. Yeah, we can use Firefox DevTools. So let's do that. Let's go to here. If we go to Inspect Element just to open up the DevTools, we can go to Network. I'm sorry if this is going to be tiny for everyone, but I'm not entirely sure how we increase the font size. Yeah, I'm not sure how we increase this font size. I'm sorry, guys. But if we try and log in with invalid, effectively it's showing a post request, and it's posting it to /API/user/login. If I copy this, I guess copy request headers. Let's select all that and delete it. All right, hang on. Copy post data as well, I guess. I think that's how it does it. So this is the request it sends. It sends a JSON object with the username as Tiberius and the password is invalid. Okay. So actually, I guess it shows that there as well. In Python, we can use this code and the request library to send this request as follows. Okay. Try to write a script, perform a timing attack. Oh, pre-written. Let's download the pre-written exploit. Because honestly, I feel like I could do this in Burp way easier. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it in Burp. I'm gonna cancel. Actually, I wonder if I'm just gonna test something. If I try and just connect to the OpenVPN on my main host, I think I can still get to the site. I can. Alright, cool. We can just switch in and out of Burp now. Let's go to... Alright, I'm going to plus this. Alright, let's record the invalid login for my account. There it is. Go to intruder. Okay, there should be, I believe, it said use the honeypot capture or names/names.txt. Hint, one of those word lists is shorter. Alright, well we can tell likely which one is shorter. Honeypot captures. Actually, I can just do it in Burp. Alright, so we want to clear out the password field as being a parameter that we're fuzzing, because we only care about fuzzing the username parameter. We'll go here, simple list, we're going to load. If we go up one, usernames, honeypot captures list is how big? 160 kilobytes, and the names/names is 69. Alright, so we'll use this one. Alright, there's 10,000 in here. We'll put this to 10 again. Let me just double check if there's anything else we need to do. Alright. So remember, when there's a valid username, but an invalid password, there should be a delay, right? So the first request it's going to send is the baseline request. It's going to send this again, so there should be a delay here. And this, I'll show a hidden feature in Intruder. So this is the invalid one, but with the valid username. If we go here to columns, and you click response received and response completed. I don't know why that went away. There we go. So response received effectively means when the connection first started sending bytes back. Response completed means effectively when the last byte of the response was sent. So a lot of times these are very similar numbers, okay, or the same number, especially if the response is small. But say that the response was like a megabyte, then this number would be smaller than this one. But you can see for the username Tiberius with a password that was invalid, right? Not the password. It took like 1.5 seconds roughly to return the response. So if we sort by this, it looks potentially like this one probably wasn't actually. This was probably a network issue. There's probably a delay of a second or slightly more than a second. We can replay this. We can send this to repeater. Repeater should have a timer. Yeah, so you see down here 94 milliseconds. So this is a false positive in Intruder, and it looked like one because it wasn't the same. Here we go, James. James took 1,465 milliseconds to respond. So we can probably pause this. If we go back, we didn't write a script, but we did it far easier than writing a script. We just cheated using burp. How many usernames from this are valid? Oh, okay. So we need to run it. So let's run through to completion. Shouldn't take too long. Is it resuming? Pause, unpause. Why is it not sending them? I hope we haven't crashed it. I think it crashed. All right. Honestly, I didn't even... I only put 10 threads. All right, we'll terminate that again. I'm guessing I should be a little gentler with this box. There we go, exploit. Okay. Alright, unfortunately the IP is going to change. This makes no sense. But the username is... Alright, I'm just going to scroll down and assume we've done it. I don't know how many names... Oh, there was only one. Alright. What was the valid username? James. We got it, guys. Everything's okay. Attack passwords. Now we have a username, we need a password. Because the passwords are hashed with bcrypt and take a noticeable time to verify, brute forcing with a large word list like RockU is not feasible. You shouldn't really brute force with RockU anyway, that's just too many. RockU has like 1 million passwords in it. It's also kind of out of date now. I'm pretty sure the RockU dump was back in 2010. And I'm not saying that passwords have improved since then, it's just that you'll definitely find better lists than RockU these days. Also, because RockU is a music site, a lot of them are music themed. Okay. With the username we found in the last step, we can retrieve the password hint. Okay, that's cool. So we'll do that. we'll go to this site again. Log in. I'm gonna plus it. I forgot my password, right? Maybe we need to put James in here. Hint: my favorite color and my favorite number. This guy is British. Okay. So I think there's all right. We download. All right. Let's save these. Extract them. Oops, hang on. Okay, we're going to open these ones. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to just copy them to burp, because we're going to use burp. This suggests using hashcat to combine the colors and numbers. This will then give you a word list to use for Hydra. Sure. Or we could use burp. Let's do it in burp. So what we want to do, we'll go back to Burp Suite, we'll go to Intruder. We still want to use this. We're going to clear out everything, though. We're going to use James as the username. For the password, we are going to put, what was it, a color? My favorite color and my favorite number. So presumably, right, say his favorite color was blue and his favorite number was 7. It would be blue 7. Okay? I'm going to assume that. So what we'll do, we'll put color... and number, like that. I'm going to select color and click add. I'm going to select number and click add. I'm going to change the attack type to cluster bomb. And what that does, it's going to iterate over all the payloads in... so it's going to select the first payload from color list and then iterate over all the payloads in the numbers list. Then it's going to move to the second payload in color list and iterate over all the numbers in the number list. So effectively, it's a combination attack, right? And so we need to clear this. Do we have the... Right, here are all the colors. So the first list was color, so we're going to paste that. Perfect. The second list... And note, this payload set has 2 because we've told it there are 2 parameters, right? 2 payloads. Let's go back. Let's open the numbers list. Okay, it was literally just the numbers. I didn't need to paste this. All right. So if we go to... So as you see, payload count is 10, right, for this list. Payload count is 18 for this list. Request count is 180. Okay, which makes sense, right? Because you're going to iterate over 18 colors, and for each color you're going to do 10 numbers, so it's basically 18 times 10. Okay, makes sense? And then I think let's set this down to 5 so we don't crash the thing. Start. Oh, hang on. I know what we need to do. We need to change the target because the target changed. That's why it wasn't working. So we just paste the new target in there. And here as well for the host name. Okay, and origin, I guess we should probably put that as well. I think that's going to work. It did. Okay, perfect. So remember, we want to do a timing attack again. Oh, geez, that is a long... Which means failed to connect. Alright, hang on, guys. This is... I'm going to disconnect from the VPN and reconnect and see if that works. Let me just refresh. All right. I think this should be fine. Okay, columns. That is a really long. Okay, well, I guess maybe. So this is saying invalid username and password, right? So if we search for the word invalid, if we filter by it, but do a negative search, then effectively when we get a correct result, it should return here, right? But do you see what's... Actually, let me show you what's happening, right? Beige 0, you see there? If I turn this off this filter, you see the payload 1 was amber, payload 2 was 0, and in the password field we have amber 0. Alright, beige 0. And if we go down, it goes through all the colors with the payload 0, and then it repeats it again with the payload 1. The reason these are all out of order, by the way, is because it's using threads. So let's do a negative search still. Okay, so it's still going, but it is working at least. Can we reach your burp extension development series in YouTube? I don't have a burp extension development series, but the video, yeah, it should be on YouTube, I think, at some point. All right, let's see. 76 requests in. We're almost halfway there. Do you have time to mentor someone for web apps? Not right now, unfortunately. I was mentoring people for OCP last year. But right now, I'm mostly focused on writing my web app course, which I guess is kind of mentoring stuff. Yeah. Work, basically. Work, YouTube streaming. Hacking is illegal. Not really. Okay, I think we have a troll in the chat. My dad is the President of the United States. What, so Joe Biden? Still running. What are we working on? We are working on this box, hacker note, custom web app, username enumeration, custom word lists, and a basic privilege escalation exploit. So currently we're trying to guess the password of the James user account. We've been given a clue, which is the color plus favorite number. If you're doing WAPT, I think the course material should be enough, plus the labs. Also look into Portswigger Web Academy. That's all free. This is going to be like the last one in the list, isn't it? My web app course does not have an ETA. It is a huge course, guys. And I have a job. So I'm pretty much doing it in my spare time while also trying to have a social life and stream for people. What is my job? I'm a penetration tester. Specifically web app penetration tester. It's going to be a Udemy course. It also will probably get released on the Cyber Mentors platform. I might at some point, if I think it's I want to say I want to say doable, but if it's a viable option, I want to create a certificate for it, like an actual practical exam. However, it really depends on a bunch of things. Do you plan on release web pen testing course? Yep. But like my previous courses were just privilege escalation, which is an extremely narrow subject, and I managed to cram all the content into an hour and a half each. As you can imagine, web app hacking is a huge field, and so it's just not possible really to cram it in to that amount of time. What is going on with this? Well, like stuck at 147, I feel like. I feel like this box is just dying constantly. All right, well, I mean, I'm just gonna give up on that because this box seems like it's dying every second, and luckily I did this. Yeah, it's freaking. Let me try disconnecting, reconnecting to the VPN again, seeing if that's the issue. It was. All right. VPN is being a bit weird, I guess. I definitely cancel it here. But luckily, since I have done this box before, we can cheat a little bit. This was gonna Hydra isn't breaking the room. Yeah, but I mean, it shouldn't. Intruder shouldn't break the room either. I only told it to use 5 threads. The password was blue7. Log into the okay. Log in as the user to the platform. Okay, we'll do this. Blue7. Come on. There we go. All right. SSH password is this. Okay, so that's an answer. Yep. What is user's SSH password? Log in as the user to SSH with the credentials you have. All right, what is the user flag? Okay, so we can do this. 10.10.137.210. 127.210 was it? 137. Cool. All right. Cat users.txt. There's the flag, which we've submitted here. Perfect. Okay. Escalate. Now that you have an SSH session, you can grab the user flag. Done that. That shouldn't be enough for you. You need root. Of course we do. A good first step for privilege escalation is seeing if you can run sudo. Kind of a good first step is just running a privilege escalation tool rather than wasting your time doing manual stuff. You have the password for the current user, so you can run the command. No, you don't actually have to have the password sometimes to run this. So that's kind of misleading. Sometimes you can list stuff without the password, but sorry, user James may not run sudo on HackerOne. You may have noticed, however, that when you enter your password, you see asterisks. Did everyone see that? Right? That's not usual. That's not default. It's the recent CVE release that affects this configuration. The setting is called PWB feedback. What is the CVE number for the exploit? Okay, well, we can just use Google. CVE sudo, what was it again? PWB feedback. You're gonna tell me Google's broken now. Come on. What is happening? There we go. CVE 2019 18634. Yep. Find the exploit from this and download the file. Okay. I wonder if he's got. There we go. We can clone it, so here we go. I'm going to clone it here, get clone. Done. Compile the exploit from Kali. Let's read the README. Nothing in the README, probably just do make, since there's a make file. Now we have a file called exploit, perfect. Okay, what's next? Probably upload it to the host. Yep, SCP, the binary to the box. What was the password again? Let's just grab it. Okay, and SH was... Okay, SCP exploit to James at 10.10.137.210 and put it in the home directory. Maybe. We still have a shell? No. Okay, hang on. Disconnect from TryHackMe again. There we go. I gotta figure out what's going on with VPN. It's kind of shaky right now. Alright, and I think we just need to run it. Run the exploit get root. Okay. So sorry, try again, but we are root. Right. So that was a known exploit in sudo. So we can cat the root txt file. And got it. Perfect. Alright. I think that is the end. We've done 2 TryHackMe rooms. Both were fun. Let me read up the chat and just answer a few questions. Semily14 said, what is your daily task? Web app testing, basically. ThinkMePad said, but we are your social life. I know, guys. But yeah. Looking forward to publishing. Yep, thank you. Just started Windows Privilege Escalation for OCP and Beyond on Udemy. Enjoying it so far. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Semily14, which burp extension do you use in your pen testing? Practically all of these. They're just not loaded because otherwise it would take up 3 rows. But these are all the ones I use. I don't use every single one of them on a pen test, but like a lot of them, sure. Most of them add stuff to the scanner, but a few of them, Collaborator Everywhere is a fun one. What else? There's like stuff for finding deserialization bugs just to make it a little easier. Hunt Scanner is kind of useful. It flags stuff like potential things you might want to look at. Stuff to do with JSON attacking JWT, JSON Web Tokens. What else? There's like basic stuff. Retire.js scans the responses for outdated JavaScript libraries. So that's an interesting one to report. But yeah, really there's just tons of stuff. And Kijigo said all of them. Yeah, pretty much. All the decent ones. Okay. I find myself weird, but I like Zap more than Burp Community Edition. Yeah, probably. Community Edition is kind of bad, but the point is they're making money off the pro version. And obviously Zap is supposed to be a free version of open source version as well. So yeah, I understand why people like Zap. It's just I have access to Pro, so there's no real reason to use Zap for me. And I am new at this cybersec. I've just done Blue, Ice Machines, and CC pen testing from TryHackMe. How can I progress from here? That is a difficult question to answer because really depends on like where you want to go. You can on TryHackMe. If we go back here, there's I think learning paths you can do. Yeah. So these learning paths are probably good. So the complete beginner learning path is roughly 28 hours. There's 26 rooms. Offensive pen testing, if you're into pen testing, is 25 rooms at 47 hours. These are estimates. And then there's stuff like this. These learning paths are great. You have to pay for these. Like if you pay for the subscription, you have access to them. But I think also you can do any of these modules really. So I'm guessing if you were into hacking, you could do Linux fundamentals, networking fundamentals, Windows fundamentals. That's where I would go from there. Just keep going at it, man. Any other questions before we call it a night and call it a week? Well, thank you very much for watching the stream. Oh, okay, hang on. Could you go from 1 to 10? How hard is OSPP for an average person? Like literally an average person, or like an average student of information security? Because for an average person, it's probably 10. But for if you're in computer science or information security, in InfoSec, probably a 5 or 6. I think I would say. It's really I mean, it's called an entry-level exam. An entry-level cert. It's not really. It's a bit beyond entry level. But it's definitely not as complicated as OSWE or OSCE or even OSE. Honestly, you can. I've seen people do come from basically almost no computer science background and just give it their all and do the exam. The key to OSCP is enumeration. If you can enumerate, you can pass the exam. How hard from 1 to 10 if you understood what was happening on this stream? Good question. We did mostly web app stuff on this stream. OSCP is not web app. You'll find maybe like some web app stuff in the OSCP, but the focus again is on enumerating vulnerable services that are running, and then finding exploits, modifying exploits, and doing that. I couldn't see your previous burp extension development. Is it in Twitch old videos? It should be. If it's not, it'll be on YouTube at some point shortly. Do you know TCM sec? Yeah, I know the Cyber Mentor. Like we're acquaintances. Yeah, we've chatted on Twitter a few times. I'm hoping that my upcoming web course will be on his academy. So that is at least the plan. He's worth a follow. He's got some great courses. So actually, yeah, in answer to people's questions about studying, he has a YouTube channel with a ton of videos on learning cybersecurity. So definitely check it out. He's also got courses on Udemy, but he also has his own academy now, which I would recommend going and signing up for that. Please stay on Udemy, not any others. I'm going to upload my course to Udemy. I don't have when you upload to Udemy, that you don't like sign the exclusivity agreement with Udemy, so I can put it in both places. Do you have any other good Twitch hacking streamer recommendations? Actually, yeah. Obviously, Cyber Mentor, he's good. But we also have Joe Helly, the mayor, and what have we got? We've got Al Hazred as well. He's actually online, so maybe we can raid his channel. That would be a fun way to raid. Let's raid his channel for the end of this. Nahamsek, yep. Okay, I'm going to raid his channel. Unless there's any other questions. If there are any other questions, John Hammond. Best web pen testing tutorial is definitely Portswigger Web Academy. Like, without a doubt. Where do you recommend exercise in preparation of OSCP other than TryHackMe? There is a great list of Hack the Box boxes by TJ Knoll. If you Google TJ Knoll Hack the Box, he has a great list. So definitely that. But honestly, the best exercise in preparation for OCP is doing the OCP labs. Best Python advanced course for ethical hacking? I'm not sure, really. I guess not really a course, but some books I know of. There's Violent Python. And I think Python Automate the Boring Stuff. I've heard good things about both those books. But I never really took an ethical hacking Python course. I just started coding in Python. If you want to learn, like, really, Python for hacking is just Python. It's just, learn Python, practice it, read some books on it. I'm not really sure if there are any advanced courses that I know of. I think there's maybe Khan Academy has a free one. for perhaps just Python. Just wing it. Yeah, right. Okay, any other questions, guys? Because otherwise we got 37 viewers right now. I think we should surprise Al Hazred by doing a raid. I had my first raid yesterday, so I figure let's raid someone in return. And he usually has amazing content. All right. I'm just going to show this for the video. Thanks everyone for watching. There are my social media sort of usernames on the screen there. Please follow me if you can. That would be great. Otherwise, I have had such a great time with you this week, and I will hopefully be streaming more in the future as well.